when I was a younger man, I found hope here at Knock. It was in this place 20 years ago that I became personally aware that Jesus is risen and that he has conquered all the evil and deathly forces of the world. And to this day, this hope with a capital H is the source and wellspring of all my hopes, even in this time of environmental crisis. That's the theme of my talk this evening, living humbly in a hope and with hope in a time of environmental crisis. Now, if you're here this evening just to find a bit of peace and quiet and climate change and polar bears and solar panels are very low on your list of priorities, that's okay. And feel free just to tune out for the next 10 minutes. And in all seriousness, if you're a farmer or from a farming family, I'm not here to give you a hard time, because I know sometimes farmers can feel that. I'm not here to wag the finger at anyone, because I'm far from being an environmental saint myself, and I'm a very unworthy messenger to give the message that Pope Francis gave the world 10 years ago in Laudato Si, the document that he wrote on the care of our common home. That message is that we have indeed entered a time of environmental crisis, but there's still hope, because there's always hope. He wrote, "May our struggles and our concern for this planet never take away the joy of our hope." So Francis got into sort of the root causes of the problem, or he tried to get to the root causes of the crisis, and he identified two. The first was the misuse of technology and the mindset that comes with that. I suppose we all know now that most daily activities now depend on quite advanced technology and machinery, whether it's the production of food or commerce or communication. Even dating and romance doesn't happen now without a microchip. It's getting harder and harder to do anything that doesn't involve a microchip, and I think going to Mass might be one of the last low-tech things you can do. I don't feel my job's being threatened by AI anyway. But I suppose in short, Francis is saying that technology has given us a lot of power over nature, and we take that for granted now. And that means that we see ourselves sort of as above nature and above the earth and in control of it, rather than as being part of it. His second major concern was consumerism. He considered the world and consumer culture to be too materialistic, but also not materialistic enough. Because consumer culture is always encouraging us to be buying new things, but then to quickly discard them. Francis called it the throw-away culture, so that we can buy something else. A consumerist culture is constantly taking our attention away from what we already have and drawing that attention to something we don't have. And the environmental impact of this has been pretty disastrous. Jesus' warning that it is hard for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven has a new resonance today. If the natural sciences are telling us that luxurious and wasteful lifestyles are not compatible with life on this planet, well then we shouldn't really assume that they are compatible with the life of grace either. We've also just heard from Genesis chapter 1 that our ancestors understood themselves as being intimately connected with the land, the sea, the plants and the animals. And they couldn't tell the story of humanity without talking about God and nature, because they understood that they were all connected. No mar deirtear as Gaeilge, tá siad go léir fiche fuaite. But in this 21st century technocratic consumerist world, the more we surround ourselves with new products, devices, conveniences, luxuries, it seems the less connected we are with nature, with people, and with God. And the worry is that we've become disconnected to what really matters. Hope comes when we reconnect. Hope comes when we reconnect. And every action we take that reconnects us with nature, with people, and with God is a hopeful action. I'm just going to give a few examples of where I myself have found this reconnection and hope. The first one is on my bicycle. A while back now, I saw an advertisement for Earn Road Éireann Irish Rail with the caption, "Break up with your car." And it caught my attention, and I thought about it, and I decided that, I probably could use my car less and reduce my carbon footprint a bit by using the car less and taking more trips by public transport, by bicycle and by foot. And I took inspiration actually from Blessed John Sullivan, a Jesuit priest who regularly cycled from Clongowes in Kildare to Dublin to pray for sick people in the hospitals. And since I've started cycling more often, I've noticed that it does reconnect me with the place where I am and with the people who are around me. I've been coming to Knock for around 20 years, but this year is the first year that I came on the bicycle. Not all the way from Dublin, I might add. I got the train to Claremorris and I cycled on the N17 from there, which is only half an hour. And once you get over the hill, it's downhill all the way. But to come here on the bicycle, it gives you an even better appreciation for this special place. Just seeing the landscape, the roads, the houses, the farms, the faces. I feel like I'm getting to know Knock a bit better already. And one other story, just from last Saturday evening, about 10 o'clock in Dublin, I was cycling home to Gardner Street, it's on the north side, and to my delight, I could hear the music from my teenage years coming from Croke Park. So I got off the bike, and with some other passers-by, I stood at Ballybock Bridge, and I heard Oasis and 80,000 voices filling Dublin's night sky with a rousing rendition of Don't Look Back in Anger. And we all sang along. And when it was over, there was a bit of chat there in the bridge, and we all agreed that the Gallagher brothers had represented Mayo very well. And it dawned on me after that I wouldn't have had that experience if I'd taken the car that night. I'm sure Pope Francis would approve of the humble bicycle. Unlike a lot of products these days, bicycles are very easily repaired and maintained. If your bicycle breaks, you don't throw it out. You don't get a new one. You fix it. Old parts can be replaced, and if you look after it, your bike will last for decades. And even an old bike lying in a garage can be fixed up. If we're speaking of fixing things, then I have to give a mention to Trigger. Trigger, the road sweeper from the BBC comedy Only Fools and Horses. God bless Trigger. He wasn't really the full shilling, but in one episode he received a medal from the local council for having maintained the same broom for 20 years. Now Del Boy asked him how had he kept the same broom for so long? And he said, well, I've replaced the head 17 times and the handle 14 times. Which left everybody wondering how the heck it could be the same broom. But anyway, his heart was in the right place for sure. The second place I have experienced reconnection and hope is in gardens. During COVID, the Jesuit community in Gardner Street invited the children from Gardner Street Primary School to use our garden as an overflow playground. And at lunchtime, they just come in and run around and play and have fun. The teachers then told us that they could tell the difference between the children who'd been playing in the garden and the children who had been playing in the yard. They were just more content and at peace. And then they took the decision that if a child was really struggling to settle in class, an SNA might bring him or her out to the garden for 10 or 20 minutes to get their peace again. Because it's not just plants that grow in gardens, it's people too. Of course, gardens are also for adults, and I'm involved with a new community garden project at Clongowes in Kildare called The Old Garden. There, a lot of people are reconnecting with nature, whether it's digging or planting or watering or weeding, feeling the sun or the rain on your skin, hearing beautiful birdsong, or even getting stung by a nettle. You know you're part of nature. You know you're part of nature. In the words of John Denver, it fills up your senses. And every few weeks, there's a market day where all the produce is sold, and I'm telling you, the food tastes amazing. All the vegetables, the honey, the eggs, everything. Somebody says it tastes the way food used to taste. I'm guessing like the carrots in the mosaic behind me. I'd say those carrots were absolutely delicious. So what do the bike and the garden have in common? Well, they are both humbling. The bike and the garden are both humbling. When you're on the bike and there's traffic whizzing by you, you know your place in this world. You know you're a small and mortal human being. And similarly in the garden, working with your hands, sweating, getting tired, getting bitten, it's humbling and it's grounding. You know your place in the world, but you also feel more connected to this world. You know your place in the world, but you also feel more connected to this world. Now, some of you might be thinking, there's no way I'm getting up on a bike, or I don't know the first thing about gardening. That's okay. You know what you can do and what you can't do, or what changes you can or cannot make. But whatever you do, I say, as Christians, let it be humble. Let it be humble. Let it be something that reconnects you with the nature around you, with the people around you, and with the God that surrounds you. Others of you may be thinking that just cycling and gardening is nowhere near enough, given the scale of the problems. And I suppose, yes, you're right, it's not enough. But Jesus is not asking us to start by solving the problems. He's just asking us to start by witnessing to another way and a more humble way. He's not asking us to solve the problem. He's just asking us to witness to another way. There's no doubt that we are a long, long way from redemption. But I truly believe that every step we take towards redemption is a step we take with our Redeemer. Every step we take towards redemption is a step we take with our Redeemer. So, without worrying about how far we will get, let us begin to walk more humbly with Jesus, our Redeemer, the one who gives us hope. Amen.